Welcome to the Galactic Combat Academy, where young aliens come to learn the fine art of not dying horribly in the vast, unforgiving cosmos. And by not dying horribly, I mean they usually end up dying slightly less horribly than they would have otherwise. Progress, right? The Academy's crown jewel is Training Hall 7, affectionately known by the cadets as the Meat Grinder. It's a charming little space where holographic nightmares become reality, and reality becomes a very expensive therapy bill. The walls are lined with memorial plaques dedicated to cadets who gave their all in training. Most gave a little too much, if you catch my drift. Standing in the center of this technological torture chamber is Captain Rex Murphy, the Academy's only human instructor. Rex has the kind of casual demeanor that makes you think he's about to offer you a beer, right up until he demonstrates 17 different ways to kill you with a paperclip. The other instructors call him the exception to every rule, which is Academy speak, for we have no idea how he's still alive. You see, humans come from what the galactic community politely calls a Deathworld, Earth. A planet so absurdly hostile that most civilized species consider it a quarantine zone. The fact that anything evolved there, let alone something that builds spaceships and tells jokes, violates approximately 47 known laws of probability. Rex stands there now, arms crossed, watching today's batch of cadets file in with the enthusiasm of prisoners heading to execution. Which, statistically speaking, isn't far from the truth. His expression suggests he's already mentally writing their obituaries, and the day hasn't even started yet. "All right, kids," Rex announces to the room, his voice carrying that special blend of boredom and imminent violence that only combat instructors can master. "Today we're running the Apex Predator simulation. For those keeping score at home, the survival rate is currently sitting at a big, fat 0%. The cadets exchange nervous glances. They've heard the stories passed down through generations of Academy survivors like cosmic ghost stories, tales of a simulation so brutal, so unforgiving, that even the Academy's top graduates emerge from it as gibbering Rex with a newfound appreciation for desk jobs. "Now, I know what you're thinking," Rex continues, walking slowly around the group like a shark circling particularly slow swimmers. "Surely, with all our advanced technology, our superior alien physiology, our millennia of evolutionary advantages, we can handle one little computer program." His smile is the kind that makes insurance companies weep. "We'll see about that." Our brave band of future casualties consists of 3 particularly noteworthy specimens, each representing the absolute pinnacle of their respective species' combat evolution, or so they keep telling themselves. First up is Zephyr, a Kytheron whose species evolved from apex aerial predators. She stands 7 feet tall with wings that span twice that, covered in iridescent feathers that shift color based on her mood. Currently, they're cycling through what can only be described as confident blue mixed with arrogant gold. Her people have been the undisputed masters of 3-dimensional combat for over 10,000 years. She can fly at speeds that would turn most species into organic smoothies, has reflexes measured in microseconds, and talons sharp enough to cut through starship hull plating. Human, she addresses Rex with the kind of condescending tone usually reserved for explaining basic concepts to children. "My species has never known defeat in aerial combat. We are the storm made flesh." Rex nods thoughtfully. "That's nice, sweetheart. Remind me again how many of your people have actually been in a real fight lately?" The gold in her feathers flickers to a less confident shade. Next is Grunt, a Molosson whose name perfectly captures both his conversational skills and his approach to problem solving. He's built like a granite mountain, decided to grow legs and develop anger management issues. His species evolved on a high-gravity world where everything is trying to crush everything else, resulting in beings who can punch through solid steel and shrug off impacts that would reduce lesser creatures to component atoms. "Grunt strong," he declares, in what passes for eloquent speech among his people. "Grunt smash things good." "I'm sure you do, big guy," Rex replies. "Question though. When was the last time your people fought something that couldn't be solved by hitting it really, really hard?" Grunt's massive brow furrows as he considers this philosophical challenge. Steam may actually be coming out of his ears. Finally, there's Pip, a Zakari whose species makes up for their diminutive size through sheer, concentrated neurosis. Standing all of 3 feet tall, she moves in a constant blur of hyperactive energy, her forearms gesticulating wildly as she speaks in rapid-fire bursts that sound like a machine gun loaded with syllables. My reflexes are enhanced by neural implants that process information at quantum speeds, she rattles off, bouncing from foot to foot. I can dodge projectiles fired from point-blank range, analyze 17 different combat scenarios simultaneously, and my reaction time is measured in nanoseconds rather than the pathetically slow milliseconds that limit primitive species. Rex raises an eyebrow. And how's that working out for your anxiety levels? Pip's left eye develops a slight twitch. These 3 represent the cream of the galactic crop, the absolute best their species have to offer. They've trained their entire lives for this moment, equipped with technology that would make Earth's military weep with envy, backed by genetic advantages that evolution spent millions of years perfecting. Rex looks at them the way a veterinarian might look at a particularly sick hamster, with just enough professional interest to be polite and just enough resignation to start preparing the tiny coffin. Right then, he says, clapping his hands together, "Let's see what all that evolution bought you." The training hall transforms around them, holographic projectors creating a perfect replica of a hostile alien jungle. The air becomes thick and humid, filled with the sounds of unseen predators and the rustle of vegetation that might or might not be trying to eat you. It's the kind of environment that makes you grateful for civilization, air conditioning, and really good life insurance. Simulation parameters are simple, Rex explains as the cadets check their equipment for the dozenth time. Survive the apex predator. It's a lovely little creation that combines the worst traits of every known galactic apex species. Think of it as evolution's greatest hits album, except instead of music, it's death. Zephyr unfurls her wings, testing the air currents. Her suit is a marvel of Kytheren engineering, equipped with atmospheric processors, threat assessment systems, and enough firepower to level a small building. This primitive simulation cannot possibly challenge someone with my capabilities. Grunt hefts his weapon, a massive energy cannon that most species would need a team to operate. His armor is thick enough to stop starship weapons and sophisticated enough to make tactical decisions for him, which is fortunate since tactical thinking isn't really his strong suit. Grunt ready to smash fake monster. Pip is vibrating at a frequency that suggests she's either incredibly excited or having a minor seizure. Her gear includes enough sensors to map a small planet, processors fast enough to calculate the trajectory of every dust mote in the room, and weapon systems that can target and eliminate threats faster than most species can even perceive them. My analysis indicates a 97.4% probability of mission success based on our combined capabilities and the simulation's theoretical limitations. Rex nods along with their confidence, wearing the expression of someone who's about to watch a particularly entertaining traffic accident. That's the spirit. Oh, one more thing. The simulation has adaptive learning algorithms. It gets smarter every time someone runs it, and since nobody's ever survived it, well, it's had a lot of learning opportunities. The color drains from Pip's face, which is impressive considering her species is naturally blue. The jungle around them comes alive with an ominous rumbling sound, like a freight train having an argument with a volcano. Trees begin to sway despite the absence of wind, and somewhere in the distance something roars with the kind of sound that makes your DNA contemplate filing for early retirement. Contact in 30 seconds, Rex announces cheerfully. Remember, teamwork makes the dream work, assuming your dream involves not becoming a very colorful splatter pattern. Zephyr takes to the air, her advanced sensors scanning the canopy. I have aerial superiority. Nothing can challenge me in three-dimensional combat. The Grunt plants himself in the center of a clearing, weapon ready. Grunt will stand ground. Grunt will smash. Pip has already calculated 17 different escape routes and is in the process of calculating 17 more. My tactical analysis suggests we maintain formation while I provide electronic warfare support and sensor coordination. The rumbling grows louder, closer. Any final words? Rex asks. Victory is assured, Zephyr declares. Grunt ready, Grunt adds. Statistical probability remains in our favor, Pip squeaks, though her voice has climbed several octaves. Rex checks his watch. And in 3, 2, 1. The apex predator enters the clearing, and 3 million years of evolutionary confidence immediately files for bankruptcy. The creature that emerges from the jungle is what you might get if Nightmares held a design contest and every entry won. It's roughly the size of a small shuttle, with the muscular build of Grunt's people, the speed of Pip's species, and the aerial capabilities of Zephyr's kind, plus a few extra features that evolution apparently added just to be cruel. Zephyr, master of aerial combat, immediately discovers that her opponent shares her three-dimensional advantages, but without any of her limitations. The creature launches itself into the air with casual grace, moving through space like physics is more of a suggestion than a law. Her first attack, a precision strike that should have ended the engagement, passes harmlessly through empty air as the predator performs maneuvers that would make a starfighter pilot weep with envy. Impossible, she shrieks, trying to regain altitude. Nothing that size should be able to fly like that. The creature responds by demonstrating that not only can it fly like that, it can also do barrel rolls while roaring in what sounds suspiciously like amusement. Grunt, meanwhile, is learning that being the strongest member of your species means very little when your opponent was designed by committee specifically to be stronger. His massive energy cannon, pride of Molossan engineering, scores a direct hit that should have reduced any living creature to its component atoms. Instead, Bandishtade, nah. The predator shrugs off the blast like it's a mild sunburn and proceeds to demonstrate why relying on brute force is only effective when you're the one with the most brute force. Grunt weapon not working. He announces, displaying his species' gift for tactical analysis. That's because it's cheating, Pip screams, her quantum processors working overtime to track a creature that apparently doesn't believe in the limitations of space-time. Her sensors are providing her with 17 different readings simultaneously, none of which makes sense and all of which suggest she should consider a career change immediately. The predator, having dispensed with aerial superiority and brute force, turns its attention to speed and intelligence. Pip discovers that her nanosecond reaction times mean absolutely nothing when her opponent operates on negative time, somehow attacking her before it even decides to attack her. Her 17 escape routes become 0 escape routes in the time it takes her processors to realize they're dealing with something that treats physics like a polite suggestion. My calculations were wrong. She wails, which for her species is roughly equivalent to admitting that water is wet and space is big. Rex, observing from the sidelines, provides running commentary like he's watching a particularly amusing sporting event. Oh, nice dodge there, Zephyr. Except you dodged into its attack pattern. And Grunt, buddy, trying to punch something that can phase through solid matter is definitely a choice. Pip, sweetie, maybe try running in a direction that doesn't lead directly toward the thing trying to eat you. The 3 cadets find themselves backed into a corner of the clearing, their advanced technology about as useful as a chocolate teapot in a supernova. The predator stalks toward them with the confident pace of something that knows the outcome of this encounter was never really in doubt. Zephyr's wings are damaged, her flight capabilities reduced to expensive gliding. Grunt's armor is cracked, his weapon systems either destroyed or ineffective. Pip is having what can only be described as a complete system failure, her processors stuck in an endless loop of calculating increasingly improbable survival scenarios. This is impossible, Zephyr gasps. We are the products of millions of years of evolution. We are the apex predators of our respective worlds. And yet, Rex observes mildly, you're about to become the bottom of the food chain. The creature rears back for its final strike, muscles coiling like organic springs loaded with malevolent intent. Its eyes lock onto the three cowering cadets with the focused attention of a predator that's already tasting victory. This is the moment when legends are born, when heroes rise to face impossible odds, when the underdog discovers hidden reserves of strength and determination. This is not that moment. The predator leaps. Time does that weird thing it does in moments of extreme crisis, where everything slows down except your ability to do anything useful about it. The apex predator hangs in the air like a very large, very angry sculpture, its claws extended toward three cadets who are having the kind of religious experience that involves rapidly updating their wills. And then Rex Murphy, instructor of the Galactic Combat Academy, does something that violates several laws of physics and most principles of common sense. He catches it. Not with some advanced piece of human technology. Not with a weapon system that cost more than a small planet's GDP. Not with the kind of powered armor that turns ordinary soldiers into walking tanks. He catches a creature the size of a shuttle, moving at speeds that should have reduced him to component particles, with his bare hands. The training hall falls silent except for the sound of three alien worldviews crashing to the ground and shattering into tiny, confused pieces. Rex stands there, holding approximately 2 tons of artificial apex predator by what might generously be called its throat, looking about as impressed as someone who just caught a particularly lazy baseball. The creature dangles from his grip like an oversized house cat, its earlier confidence replaced by what can only be described as profound confusion. "Ha," Rex says, examining the predator with the detached interest of someone studying a mildly interesting insect. "You know, for something that's supposed to be the ultimate killing machine, you're really not that impressive up close." The creature makes a sound that might be a roar, if roars could express existential bewilderment. "Let me explain something to you kids," Rex continues, addressing the three cadets while casually restraining a creature that was moments ago demonstrating its mastery over the laws of physics. "You see, you all made the same fundamental error. You assumed that more advanced means better." He shifts his grip on the predator, which has apparently decided that struggling is undignified and has settled for glaring at him reproachfully. "Zephyr, your people evolved on a world where aerial superiority meant everything. Beautiful, efficient, perfect for your environment. Problem is, you never had to deal with ground-based threats that could match your aerial capabilities. So when something can fly as well as you can and also happens to be a lot meaner, your millions of years of evolution become a liability rather than an asset. Zephyr's feathers have cycled through several colors that don't appear in any known spectrum. Grunt, your species developed overwhelming physical strength because that's what worked on your world. Everything was tough, so you got tougher. Elegant solution, except when you run into something that's not just tough, but also smart enough to use your strength against you." Grunt's expression suggests he's trying to process concepts that his brain wasn't designed to handle. And Pip, all that computational power, all those enhanced reflexes, all that quantum processing speed, fantastic for dealing with threats that behave predictably. Not so great when your opponent operates outside the parameters your systems were designed to handle. Pip has stopped vibrating and is now perfectly still, which for her species indicates either deep thought or complete system shutdown. "See, humans evolved on a world that was trying to kill us in every way imaginable," Rex explains, giving the predator a casual shake to keep its attention. "We didn't get to specialize. We didn't get to develop one perfect solution to survival. We had to become good at everything, because everything was a threat." He pauses, considering the creature in his hands. "Adaptability. That's what evolution gave us instead of wings or strength or quantum processors. The ability to look at a situation that should be impossible and figure out how to make it work anyway." The predator makes another sound, this one considerably less threatening and more along the lines of a polite request to be put down. Also, Rex adds with the kind of grin that explains why humans are classified as a potentially hazardous species. Humans are really, really good at violence. The silence that follows Rex's casual demonstration of human exceptionalism is the kind of silence that philosophers write dissertations about. It's pregnant with implications, heavy with shattered assumptions, and thick enough to cut with a knife, assuming you have the kind of reflexes that let you catch impossible predators mid-leap. Rex finally sets the creature down with the gentle care of someone putting away a particularly expensive piece of equipment. The apex predator, for its part, seems remarkably eager to be anywhere else and disappears back into the holographic jungle with what can only be described as wounded dignity. Simulation complete, announces the training hall's computer system, with the tone of an AI that's just witnessed something that violated several of its core programming assumptions. The three cadets remain frozen in place, their minds attempting to process what they've just witnessed. It's like watching someone solve a complex mathematical equation by hitting it with a hammer until it gives the right answer. Right then, Rex says, dusting off his hands like he's just finished some light gardening. What did we learn today? Zephyr is the first to find her voice, though it comes out as more of a croak than her usual confident proclamation. You caught it. With your hands. Observational skills are improving already. Rex nods approvingly. Yes, I caught it. Turns out that when you spend your entire evolutionary history dealing with things that want to kill you, you develop pretty good reflexes. Grunt's tactical analysis centers on the most important question. How? Well, big guy, that's the thing about being a generalist survival species. We don't do anything perfectly. But we do everything well enough to stay alive. That creature was designed to counter specific types of threats. It wasn't designed to deal with something that doesn't follow the standard Galactic combat manual. Pip's processors finally come back online, though they seem to be running several diagnostic programs simultaneously. But the speed, the trajectory calculations, the force vectors, none of it should have been possible. Rex shrugs. You calculated what should have been possible based on standard galactic parameters. Humans don't really do standard. He walks over to a control panel and begins shutting down the simulation environment. See, here's the thing about Deathworlds. They don't just make you tough, they make you creative. When everything in your environment is trying to kill you, you learn to think outside the box. Sometimes way outside the box. The jungle fades away, replaced by the sterile walls of the training hall. The memorial plaques seem somehow less intimidating now, though that might just be the afterglow of witnessing the impossible. So what happens now? Zephyr asks, her feathers settling into what might be a humbled blue-gray. Now you learn, Rex replies. You learn that all that advanced technology, all those evolutionary advantages, all that genetic superiority, it's just tools, and tools are only as good as the being using them. He heads toward the exit, pausing at the doorway to deliver his final bit of wisdom. Tomorrow we're going to work on something really challenging. I'm thinking hand-to-hand combat with energy beings. Should be fun. The three cadets exchange looks that communicate volumes about their suddenly revised expectations for academy training. Oh, and kids? Rex adds, his grin visible even from behind. Welcome to the real galaxy. Try not to die before graduation. The paperwork's a nightmare. As the door closes behind him, the training hall falls quiet except for the sound of three young aliens contemplating the disturbing possibility that maybe, just maybe, the humans know something the rest of the galaxy hasn't figured out yet. And somewhere in the Academy's administrative offices, the survival statistics for Training Hall 7 get their first update in recorded history. The number is still pretty low, but it's no longer 0. Progress, right?